Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I've been talking about some fairly bleak things lately. So today I wanted to bring you something a little bit more uplifting. A message of hope for parents of children who have recently been diagnosed with a disability like autism. I'll take you back to a day almost 15 years ago now when my son was 2. We were at the doctor for his well-child checkup and I said to the doctor, I think something is not quite right. And the doctor said, "What do you mean?" And I said, well, shouldn't he be talking by now? Shouldn't he have some words that are actually functional? Shouldn't he be interested in playing with other children instead of just playing among them? The doctor said, when it comes to developmental milestones like speech and interactive play, the range of normal is so broad, and boys do tend to lag behind girls. So let's wait until he's 4, because by then we'll have a clearer sense of whether he really is behind or not. Now, I'm on the spectrum myself, and my speech was delayed when I was a child. So when the doctor was telling me this, my gut was screaming at me to insist on an assessment. But my brain was telling me that, this guy's a doctor, he knows what he's doing. So, against my better judgment and to my eternal regret, I trusted what he was saying. Fast forward a year. We're at the doctor again for my son's 3rd birthday checkup. My younger son was 9 months old, so I was exhausted. I was worried. And I was absolutely wrecked with postpartum depression. I was in no mood for anything. I said to the doctor, listen, we're not waiting until this child is 4. I'm going to sit in your office gathering dust until you give me a referral for an assessment. The doctor must have realized that I meant it. I was unemployed at the time and I had no place to go. He, on the other hand, had other patients to see, so he really needed to get rid of me. So when I left that day, I had my referral. 8 months later, my husband and I sat in another doctor's office and received our son's autism diagnosis. And I'll tell you what it was like. When you have a baby, you form this picture in your mind of what your family's life is going to look like. You think about birthday parties, soccer games, Christmas concerts. You imagine doing things with your child, like playing with them at the park, reading to them at bedtime, helping them with their homework. Now imagine that this picture in your head is an actual picture on the wall, and the picture is painted on a sheet of delicate glass. When the doctor told me that my son was on the severe end of the autism spectrum, it was like someone took a baseball bat and smashed my picture to smithereens. I felt this tremendous sense of loss. And receiving a diagnosis like this is a form of loss, and you have to give yourself the time and space to process that. But while I was clinging to my son and worrying about his future and mourning the loss of my picture, something miraculous was happening. The shattered pieces from the picture were shifting, moving around and arranging themselves into a whole new, beautiful picture. Sure, we weren't going to get the typical milestones that other parents celebrate with their kids, but we quickly learned to appreciate everything. The first time my son asked for juice by actually saying the word juice, I was ecstatic. Every little accomplishment was a cause for celebration. It still is, and there is something very special about that. I will never forget the day of my son's first school concert when he was in kindergarten. He was in a small class with other special ed kids and they were going to sing a song. My son participated in the rehearsals, but when it came to the day, he just couldn't do it. He got up onto the stage and he just lost it. Epic meltdown. I went and got him, and as we left, I saw other parents giving us strange looks. And I was so sad. This was part of my picture that had been shattered. I was just so filled with the sense that my beautiful boy was losing out because of his autism. But then, 11 years later, this happened. My son, who couldn't get up on a stage in kindergarten, got up in front of thousands of people and raised the flag at the opening ceremony of the Special Olympics Youth Games. And let me tell you something. If that original picture hadn't broken, we would never have had this picture. My son is 16 now, and in many ways he's a typical teen. Sassy and opinionated, likes to argue, strong-willed, stubborn, ambitious, excited for the future, full of the exuberance and enthusiasm that comes from being 16. He may never be fully verbal. He's not likely to get a driver's license or go to university. And he will probably never be able to live completely independently. But he's got meaningful social connections with people who really care about him. He's always the first to lend a helping hand to someone in need. He's working hard on getting an education that will result in him being able to do work that he loves and is good at. He has a tight bond with his brother. These two, best friends. So, my message of hope. If your child has been diagnosed with a developmental disability, or even if you just know that your child's path through life is not going to be smooth, it's going to be okay. Give yourself time and space to process the challenges. Allow yourself to grieve for the life you are losing. But always know that while you are doing that essential work of adjusting to your new reality, the fragments from your shattered picture are working to rearrange themselves into a new picture that has breathtaking beauty. Lots of love from me to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you as part of my village. Stay safe, stay healthy, live your best life, and be kind. I'll see you next time. Bye.